Welcome back to the Now Morning Show, just about 29 minutes after the hour of 7 o'clock. Now, the Human Resource Management Association of Trinidad and Tobago, or HRMATT, will celebrate excellence at its Legacy Awards and Gala dinner that's taking place on Sunday, November 27th. Now, they're encouraging you to be part of the tribute to those visionaries who paved the way for human resource management profession in TNT, and also help them celebrate the HR professionals who embody the quality of excellence in different categories. Joining me in studio to talk more about the awards is President of HRMATT, Cavelle Joseph St. Omer, and Treasurer at HRMATT, Mrs. Antonia Ferrier. Good morning, ladies. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, Kimberly. Thank you for having us.
Now, Cavelle is always here, as you know, Antonia, but normally we talk about HR, right? But we're going to shift it a bit to talk about the Legacy Awards in particular. Now, the Legacy Awards, tell us about it and tell us why now.
Well, the inaugural HR Legacy Awards really, why we felt at HRMATT it was necessary at this time to celebrate our profession is when we recognize the hard work HR did over the last 2.5 years. And for many years, it's a profession that has not really been recognized for its contribution to the delivery of strategy, to the people management in organizations. We've not really celebrated the people doing the excellent work. Every other industry, when you look at the engineers, you look at contractors association, they have their awards, chambers celebrate their businesses. We felt it was time that we recognize the work of HR professionals. And as a board, we determined strategically it was the right timing as well, in light of what we all experienced over the last 2.5 years, to now come out and celebrate and to recognize our founders. HRMATT was 33 years this year in October.
Wow.
And it was time we recognized those who had the vision back then to really establish this association that we all absolutely love at this point in time and recognize their contribution. Unfortunately, the founding father is no longer with us, Gordon Draper, but his daughter will be there on the evening. And we didn't want the time again to go by and we didn't recognize the others that are still with us. So we have in fact been documenting the history, because it's our intention to eventually consider a documentary, HRMATT documentary. Yes.
Interesting.
So we've been recording because we recognize more than ever too that life is fleeting, and we may in fact at some point in time, you know, we lose them. So we don't want to lose the story. It's important for the young generation of practitioners to understand the history of HRMATT and what this association means towards national development and people development.
Yeah, I love that you say that, because I think it's so important now for us to tell our stories and for us to tell our stories as well. So I think it's an amazing task that you all are taking on. I'm going to come to you, Mrs. Ferrier, because this is a great award ceremony that you're having, but who is the nomination open to?
Well, the nomination is open to anyone, individual, organization, or NGO, depending on the category. So we have 7 main categories. Public sector, named after Gordon Draper. We have the Glenn Wilson Award for IR. So that one is open not just to organizations, individuals, but also to trade unions, because it's excellence in the field of industrial relations, right? We have the Lisa James Award for organization development. We have the learning and development, we have the Corinne Jones Award for organization excellence.
Yeah.
Yes, and so those 2 are open to, well, obviously, both of them open to organizations, but the learning and development one is open to anyone, a consultant who may have brought out an innovative program that transformed an organization. A team in an organization that came up with this fantastic idea that changed the organization, right? Or even an individual. So we have that breadth coming across, yes? We also have the L. Anthony Watkins Award for Advocacy, and that one is open to NGOs and other entities that work towards pursuing employee rights and improvement in human rights. And we have one other award, Cavelle?
The Maxine Barnett.
The Maxine Barnett Award for HR Excellence.
Okay. Your face lights up when you mention this one, Mrs.
Well, you know, I
Ferrier.
had the privilege of interviewing Maxine Barnett and Lisa James, actually, and it has been so uplifting listening to the passion they brought to the not just HRMATT, but to the industry, and that they continue to do as they have retired out of corporate life and gone on to become consultants, that they recognize the need for change, you know. So they were very much at the cusp of this field of HR as it emerged, because prior to that we had a thing called personal administration. Most organizations seem to still do this, think about HR. And you hear, even though we're using the word HR, they still think of it as, you know, the leave administration and maybe the IR issues. But human resource management is a strategic coming together of aligning the people to the business and recognizing that the people are the company's greatest assets.
So then can you nominate the people, or are you nominating the organization?
Both. It depends on the category.
Right, okay. Yeah.
So we do have the criteria for each one. That would allow for the appropriate person. So that's why I said it's an entity. It could be an individual, right? It does not have to be a corporate organization. And in fact, it's public sector, private sector, and
across the board.
Across the board.
Yes.
So it's really, because at the end of the day, and we say this all the time, human resource management is people management. And if you are in the business using people, you are managing people. Okay, so that's what we want to award, and as Cavelle said, it often goes unnoticed and unappreciated. You know, HR is that place we throw all the people problems to, and we don't say thank you, and then, you know, when it's time for looking at moving the organization, we forget the HR. You know.
Now, Cavelle, I'm hearing names like Maxine Barnett, Glenn Wilson, and all those others. Who were these people? Were they significant to HR? Were they significant to HR? Well, to HRMATT? I mean, how were these the names of these categories and the awards chosen?
So we are recognizing our founders. So they are in fact the ones who came up with the idea. They sat in Gordon Draper's office. Maxine was actually working for him at the point in time, and she automatically became the secretary of the association when it started. And they were the founders. They were the ones who registered the association and the first board. So Gordon Draper was the first president, and Glenn Wilson the first vice president. So we felt it was in time to honor them and their legacy. That's why it's called the Legacy Awards. Recognizing that it's because of them we stand on their shoulders, basically. Antonia forgot one very important award as well, which is the HRMATT Volunteer Award, right?
Yes.
We want to recognize our volunteers. We are a volunteer organization. All this work that you see happening and coming from the association at this point in time is the work of the board members and committees, the subcommittees. We want to recognize this year the I should say the HRMATT Volunteer of the Year, recognizing their service and dedication, because it's a lot of work and it's unpaid work as well, all for the love of HR. So it's in that vein that we want to celebrate. We just want to have a night where we recognize and celebrate our legacy. There's an exhibition hall. We want to take it back. Imagine 33 years ago, that's 33 boards, you know. We want to go back in time and recognize all those presidents, vice presidents, secretary, treasurer, everyone who assisted in building HRMATT and bringing it in today's context. I felt it was important. I wanted to create a bit of nostalgia, and the board bought in, because when we sat down on this fateful evening, Sunday evening, and we were working on strategy, you know. At least I said, the one thing that I want to see is an awards. Everybody had their contributions to make, you know, and I mean the entire board, we got together and we was like, yes, this is what we're going to do this year. Of course, we want to recognize some of our sponsors and partners. We cannot do this alone. HRMATT is not in the business of generating a good or service for sale, save and accept the training that we provide from time to time. We have, for example, TTT, who has been absolutely wonderful in giving us media support, and we appreciate it a lot. We have Guardian Media as well, who, I mean, you would see that we have a column. It's out today, actually, every Monday, where we discuss HR matters. And we want to recognize organizations like Angostura that have come on board. Caribbean Airlines have come out and give us support. Pat and Mac, you know, for some of our branding. Label House, Bal Roops, in terms of, you see that exhibition hall that we're talking about? They've come on board for that as well.
Now, Cavelle, as you mentioned, the exhibition board, walk us through what we can see on the night.
Well, well, when we were talking about it, was this grand vision, like if it was the Oscars attending, right?
Red carpets and everything.
Well, we wouldn't have a red carpet per se,
yes.
but we would have the red carpet effect with the
stanchions,
the stanchions,
the velvet
yes.
ropes
right?
coming in.
So you enter through that. We're going to have a media area, of course, with the 360-degree camera, and you're walking through the exhibition. And again, 7 pillars for the founders, and videography, photos, and their names etched. We want to have a whole exhibition center. Ball groups have come on board to give us some support in terms of sponsoring that element of it. And then you go into the main hall, nicely decorated. If you've ever been to a HRMATT event, trust me, those decorations, I mean, Kelvin does
a
fantastic job. Yes. All right, so nicely decorated. And the evening starts off, of course. I mean, we have the few speeches. We have entertainment.
Yes.
Because, you know, in the end, we have to have a little party, right? Our award is also being designed specifically. So it's not something that you're going to get off a shelf. Right? The award is being designed. Antonia is working with the designer.
Nice.
Right? So you're going to come and see something very unique. I don't even want to give it away at this point, but I'm very excited by the design that I've seen, and I'm waiting to see it come to life. Right? So tomorrow we do have a site visit happening, and we're going to actually get into full planning mode now to execute this. But I want to urge, I mean, all our practitioners and the average person out there, anyone interested right now in people development and celebrating the work that we do as a profession, come out on that evening and support us, support this event. It's the first, and we intend to have this annually.
Now, since you're encouraging people, where can they go to get more information?
Well, they could visit our website. In fact, it's now redone again. Yes,
very nice.
Right? Antonia and her team has been working on it. So it's fresh and modern. www.HRMATT.com. The nomination forms are there. Nominations are still open. It actually closes this week.
Yes.
So I saw someone from the Commissioner's office was interviewed earlier this morning, so I bumped into her because they're actually doing some good work, believe it or not. People feel like the state sector, there's nothing good happening in the state sector. I'm telling you, their institutions doing fantastic work. So I was encouraging and reminding her to send in your nominations. So for the average public out there, everyone listening, sending your nomination, it closes on the 12th. More TT volunteered as an accounting firm. The HRMATT board is not receiving these nominations. Rest
because
assured.
People are going to be like, hello.
We are not even selecting the awards except the volunteer.
Except the volunteer.
Except the volunteer.
Yes,
right? So it goes straight to more TT. They are the ones assessing and sending it to us on the eve, just in time for us to get it etched and everything. So we will not know anything. Trust and believe that, right?
Yes.
So that is happening. And then, of course, if 687-5523 is the number to call, 620-9193 as well, to get more information. Tickets are available online as well, right? $1,000 for a non-member, and $900 for members. Of course, we encourage corporate tables, so I hope TTTs, you'll have a table at the event,
Well, I know my CEO is listening. He watches the show frequently, so I hope he's listening as well.
So, yes, we are encouraging the corporate tables, as well as even if you have a family and you want to bring the whole family, purchase a table. It's a gala, award, and dinner. So it's a proper dinner. So I just want people to understand. They may ask $1,000. I mean, you're getting much value, much value.
And that's the thing. And so I'm wondering if the treasurer can speak to this, because it's $1,000. Yes, you're going to get the gala. Yes, you're going to get the experience. But is the funds going to be donated? Is part proceeds going towards something in particular?
Well, we made, in July, we launched our Human Capital Investment Fund because we want to add to the legacy. And so part of our commitment when we have these events is to put up to 20% of the net proceeds towards that fund. You know, everything counts. So whether we make $2 or $200,000, money is going in. And I mean, I have to put a plug in here. We've recently had 2 companies give us endowments that allowed for the university students to attend our last C-suites, you know. I was at Methanex and Bermudas. And I mean, they were so excited to bring out, the students were so pleased and appreciative of being able to come out. So that fund, apart from allowing us to sponsor the students and HR professionals who are pursuing degrees and certifications, research, that sort of thing, will also allow us to fund our youth outreach. so students can come to our events and we can do our career development campaigns, because next year we'll be rolling out a broader campaign to go out to the communities. You know, everything comes to,
of course,
to town.
And we always invite HRMATT back on the show. So, of course, we're going to have you guys back and just to tell us about what's happening for next year. But we have to go quickly. Cavelle, remind us, nominations are open still, and where we can go to get those nomination papers and more info about the event.
Right. So visit www.HRMATT.com. All the information is there about the Legacy Awards. We're also on all social media platforms. We do have dedicated pages for this on Facebook, LinkedIn, and our Instagram and Twitter accounts active, full of information. They can also call 687-5523 or 620-9193 for additional information. Tickets are available. In fact, we're so tech savvy now, you could actually purchase your ticket online.
Very nice.
Right? And we do have physical tickets as well from the board directors.
Antonia, thank you guys so much for coming in. All the best with the Legacy Awards that's happening on November 27th. Thank you, ladies, so much.
Thank you for having us.
And that's where we end at least this segment. We have so much more coming up on the Now Morning Show. Stay with us.